Tua Tagovailoa returned to Dolphins team drills this week for the first time since December, and he looked, well, different to say the least. Can the quarterback who led the NFL in passer rating last season stay healthy enough to help Miami make some noise in the playoffs? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scott Procter, and I think you know the deal by now. You better, at least. This is Procter's point of view, and as always, drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. And make sure you stay tuned to the end to see if you can guess which college has produced the most wins, starts, passing yards, and touchdowns in the NFL. And if you do comment, keep an eye out, because that could be featured in a future video like this one right here. And this guy right here, man, I respect it. I also really do like what the Spurs are building, especially with Pop, with Wembanyama in the fold. It's going to be even more crazier next season when they draft Bronny and LeBron James goes to San Antonio to play with the Spurs soon after that. But to this topic today, man, Tua Tagovailoa was inarguably, I don't want to argue about this, he was one of the NFL's best quarterbacks last season. He led the NFL in passer rating. He was third in QBR behind only Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, and he led the league's number 2 passing offense. But of course, he had a couple concerning concussions that ultimately prevented him from playing in Miami's wild card loss to Buffalo. Not only is Tua a relatively smaller quarterback compared to guys like Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, the Josh Allens of the world, but he's been sacked at least 20 times in each of the last 3 seasons. And understandably, he's missed at least 1 game due to injury in each of the last 3 seasons. But luckily for Dolphins fans, Tua is being proactive, and he's trying unique methods to stay healthy and available for the entirety of the upcoming season. It started earlier this offseason when Tua said that he's planning to work with jitsu instructors to better learn how to fall and avoid hitting his head on the ground, which has obviously led to some concussions. Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel said this week that Tua has taken the training very seriously, so much so that the Dolphins have even added the training into their practices for all of their quarterbacks. Perhaps just as important as the jiu-jitsu training for Tua is the recent weight he's put on. Good weight. He looks a little thick around, the tree trunks and the legs and whatnot, even up top a little bit. Photos of Tua from this week's OTA show that he's much bigger, much stronger than he looked last season or at any point before that. And as a former quarterback myself, that extra weight should do a couple of things. First off, the extra weight and core strength will help Tua have more zip on his throws, especially in a timing-based offense that head coach Mike McDaniel runs. That extra zip is going to help Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle run after the catch and rack up some yak. More importantly, the additional pounds will hopefully help Tua better brace for hits and contact, which should decrease the chance of injury. And that's the only thing that can really derail the Dolphins season. It's another Tua injury. That's really the only thing I can see preventing them from making a real run at the playoffs and maybe even winning the division. If Tua is able to stay upright and healthy on the field alongside Cheetah, Jalen Waddle, fast, speedy rookie running back Devon Achane, another speedster on that offense, Miami could definitely make some noise in the postseason this year. But back to the trivia question I posed at the top. Which college has produced just some amazing stats from the quarterback position more than any other college? It's Purdue. And you know who is produced out of that. Brian Greasy, Drew Brees, to name a couple. But that's going to do it for this episode. As always, drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know about Tua and the Dolphins this season. And as always, subscribe, and I'll catch you right here tomorrow on Procter's Point of View.
Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out our other videos, and don't forget to smack that subscribe button down below while you're at it. Also, for more great and original content, head right over to bbmsports.com.